Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Are you looking forward to receiving some informative information to help your loved ones?
Yes.
Do you believe that you have the power to make a change for you as well as your loved ones?
Yes.
First, it starts with believing. You have to believe. There's so many available things out in the universe to help us to achieve everything we want. So many families, we believe that, and you have to believe it too. That's how it starts, and that's how the universe is linked. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone for coming today. We have a very successful sessions to start. We use the word successful because we believe it will be a success. So welcome to How to Get Justice in Georgia. First and foremost, I want to thank our photographer. He was filming and taking photographs of the individuals that are speaking on the platform. He will not take photographs and videos of the audience unless you give permission to do that. First, I want to thank him. Just raise your hand so everyone can see you.
Thank you.
Great, excellent. Thank you very much for your service. Great, so welcome once again to How to Get Justice in Georgia. There's going to be 2 sessions. The first session, of course, is a free session, and what we're going to do in that free session is to give you a high level of some of the information we've done to help individuals get out of prison. We're also going to share a few things that we can talk about, just very high level, and what you can do outside and how important you can use, if you want to, our service to help you get your loved ones out of prison. The Parole Advocates. Session 1 is free, which I mentioned, and Session 2 is a workbook package seminar. That workbook package seminar includes an intense booklet. I think I have one in front of me here, that looks like this. Everyone that paid for this booklet should have a copy in their presence. If not, we have copies here. We have limited copies available if anyone should choose to purchase one after the first free session. A little bit about the company. We have over 75 years of collective experience within our organisation. We're members of the Better Business Bureau with a rating plus A+ rating status, and we've received no complaints over 30 years. Obviously, we're doing something right, and that's what we want to share with you today. Session 1. Now, what we're going to do today, I'm going to show you some cases that we've actually worked with clients, just to give you an indication of what we've done. We've got about 6 cases that we're sharing here with you today, and I'm going to go very high level on what these individuals were inside for and what they tried to do with their loved ones to help them to get out, and how we came involved to help them, whether we moved them to a different transition unit, whether we got them to go to participate in resources to help them better themselves, to make them successful to make parole, consideration for parole. So this individual, his name is Kevin, and he was residing at Rogers State Prison. He was convicted for 10 years for multiple charges. He was hired by his mother. He was hired by us by his mother. He had several dismissed charges, ghost charges, which basically means that charges that should not affect the parole board, but they did. So it was in his files.
First and foremost, let's kind of calm everybody down. I know y'all have spent a lot of money just trying to get your loved ones out already. And the last thing y'all probably thought, coming here, they have to spend them some more money. So that's understandable. And I know a lot of us, $100 is a lot of money. And first thing people say, oh, they're just trying to get money. Or they're just trying to get money. Or they're just trying to get money. But if you think about it, you sent more money into prison on phones, on store calls, on green dots. I'll explain to you where this money's going. Okay? You just spend more money on those things And now when someone says, okay, I can help you the best that I can help you the best that you can for $100, you say, oh, that's too much money. But when the phone rings, there's $15 a call, you accept it. Okay, my name is Hakeem Woodard. Okay? I just spent 25 years in prison on a life sentence. You may say, wow, that's a long time, but I went in for armed robbery and murder. Okay? I didn't go in for jaywalking. I didn't go in for robbing, just robbing a man for a little money. I took a life. But inside, I've done some things that helped my mom on the outside get me out. I work for Emory University, speaking to juveniles and churches and schools. They're the ones that helped me get me out in the beginning. Because I wrote a book called Crossing the Bridge from Childhood to Adulthood in Georgia Prison System. So I'm explaining to you what's really going on with your money. A lot of brothers inside of prison are kind of mad with me because of what I'm telling you. When I went to prison, I had no education at all. I had dropped out of school. But I left out of that prison with a trade in carpentry, with a trade in electrical, with a college, another trade in electrical mechanic technician, and another trade in heating and air. The problem is, most of you have become slaves to your loved one in prison. If you had a child right now that was doing good in school, you will reward them, right? If he does bad, would you reward them? So how is it that most of our families spend hours going down to a visitation? That's gas money. Sit in front of the snack machine, that's more money. And most of the time, there's no conversation between the two. He's just eating. And he eats up $50 worth of food. That's on top of the gas you're going to have to go back. But now people are screaming about $100. So all of that money, he has to do something to get these privileges. And you can do something for him. My mom called the counselor, my counselor. You can do that. You can call the counselor. You have to get a relationship with that counselor. A relationship. What is he doing? How is he doing? Is he in school? Is he staying in school? Is he in the hole? Matter of fact, here's my number. Call me when he get in trouble. You'd be surprised when the prison system find out that he have a loved one that's involved with his growth, they treat him different. They treat him different. They respect him more. And when you go to visitation, ask the officer, how is he doing? Because the officer would tell your loved one in prison, you know I know your mama now. Acting up, I'll tell her when she comes see you. It works like that. You have to become more involved with his growth, but if you continue to send green dots, here's the thing. A cell phone costs $300 in prison. A touchscreen costs $1,000. You say, well, my loved one called me from a phone now. He paid $300 from me out of your money. Yeah. A touchscreen costs $1,000 in prison. But everybody got one.
Not mine.
So, how do you want? Did I have one in prison? Yes, I did. I'm not going to lie to you. I had one. But when I got time for me to get ready to go home, I got rid of it. And I know it costs a lot of money for them to call. But inside the prison, there's some things he can do. Here's number one. Education. You're preparing him to get out. Okay? You on the outside, number two, getting in touch with his counselor. Talking to the warden of care and treatment. If he's in a camp that's not offering him a trade that he already has his GED, you can get him moved to a place. You can get him moved. It's not that hard. Daryl will tell you, you can get him moved. Why? Because once you start saying, I want this education, he deserves the right to get this education, and you back him up and you continue to call, continue to go forward, he end up getting transferred to a camp with education. But here, what stops him? If he's cutting the food in prison, nobody's going to look out for him. If he's in the hole all the time, how do you expect to get any favors? If he's already arguing with his counselor, even though he may not like his counselor, you have some counselors that you shouldn't like them, but you have to. But you have to, because that's your doorway to anything else in the prison system. I asked everybody in prison while I was in there 25 years, I asked them, I said, why should the warden let you out? Because the warden, how many people got some loved one got a life sentence in prison? I got a life sentence. Let me tell you about this. The warden is allowed to write 5 special parole life sentences a year. The parole board respects that to the highest fullest. To the highest. If the warden writes a special parole review for your loved one, they're gone. How do you get that? Yes, ma'am.
You're saying that they have 5 years.
He can only write 5 a year.
Every year?
Every year. Each warden. Here's the thing. The warden that wrote one for me said he'd been in there 20 years and he only wrote 4. Which means they got to do something that makes them stand out from 1,000 people in that camp. What makes your loved one stand out amongst all the rest of them in that camp? What does he do? Does he go the extra mile to stay out of trouble? Does he go the extra mile to help others? Is he a teacher aide? Is he in trade? Is he doing those things that make him stand out doing right, or doing those things that make him stand out doing wrong? Because if he's standing out doing wrong, you can't help him. He's not helping you. Matter of fact, he's burdening you. Why? Because you're sending so much money. He can establish a relationship with the officers there. It ain't nothing about you got to go do no snitching. This is not what I'm telling you to go do. They got 1,000 snitches in prison, and they still in prison. Okay? That's not how you get out of prison, going to jail. That's not how you get out. You get out of prison doing something that makes you different from the rest. So what did I do? I took a lot of the young guys. I told the warden, give me all the young troublemakers. Give me all of them, and I'll make them do right. Keep them out of trouble. He said, if you do that for me, I'm going to have to do something for you. And I got them all, and I got them together, and I talked to them, and I explained to them, helped them get in school, helped them put their life in the right order, helped them connect with their families better, helped them start writing letters. And then we started a program called Young Men on the Move. And it kept them out of trouble. We started a mentor program in the prison system. Your loved one have to do something that makes them stand out amongst the rest of them. Daryl's more on the legal aspect. Mine is in the inside. What to do, how not to do it. Any questions before I start? Say what I got to say. Any questions? Okay. You calling back and forth to the parole board, writing letters to the parole board, that's good. Let me explain something to you. There's over 10,000 people in the prison system. Do you really believe that your letter, they have letter writers, letter readers in prison, the prison parole board, which means when you write those letters, they read your letter, not the parole board members. The staff read it. They document it and put it in the file. That's as far as it goes. That's as far as it goes. So you can write, continue to write. So you say, well, what am I doing? Here's your cue. People are running for politicians in this world, in the line. People are running for office. People are running for positions. Get friends with them. Be on their campaign. You need someone powerful on the outside that can give you an ear on the inside. It works like that. Everybody doesn't charge you money to help people. There's state representatives. There's people who work in the governor's office. All of them have families. They're human beings. They go to church somewhere. They go to eat somewhere. Matter of fact, if you're working in a place, you may be serving a parole board member, don't even know. They're human beings. They can be talked to. They can be approached. It's your job on the outside to find that way to approach them. On the inside, you have to tell your loved one, if you don't do this, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to come see you in the hole, so don't call me. If you're in the hole when I come, they tell me in the hole, I'm walking back out the door. Now, if he gets an attitude about that, then you need to wonder, should I get him out? Should I really get him out? Is he ready to get out? And I know you love your loved ones, but is they ready to come home? That's what's the question you got to ask them. Are you ready to come home? They're going to say, yeah. Then tell me, what have you done to prepare yourself to go home. You need a long list. Not just a couple of certificates. You can get a certificate, motivational change. I took corrected thinking. Okay, how many times did you take it? Did you actually teach it? Yeah, you know, you can teach those classes. You become an aide in teaching those classes, which means gives you a lot of favor with the counselor on the inside. You can be a teacher's aide. That gives you favor on the inside. Cell phones can get you 3 years to your parole board denied. Cell phones do another thing too. It makes you subject to be robbed. Because everybody wants cell phones. It makes you subject to be robbed. If you're subject to be robbed, it means you're subject to get an assault charge. And if you're subject to get an assault charge, you can end up getting a murder case in prison. I know it's convenient for them to call. Write-ups. On a cell phone, they charge you $100. If they don't charge you $100, they'll take you to court for it. But they realize this is a good business. We'll let our officers bring it in, sell it to you for some money, and they will take it from you for $100. And they'll ask their family for another $300 or a green dot. I'm not going to send you any money to buy cigarettes for $10 a pack of cigarettes. And the pack is, I'm talking about half a pack. $10. Most of our loved ones that smoke, you need to quit. It's time, prison is the time to quit smoking. Because some of our loved ones will sell their whole tray for a cigarette. I mean, they won't eat Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday just to smoke a cigarette. It's time to go cold turkey and quit. It's hard, but none of you put them there. So stop acting like you put them there. And stop feeling that you put them there. You cannot be in prison along with them. Because your life will begin to go in a spiral downhill. You be upset. You started going into depression. And they call and get me out, get me out, get me out. Hold on a minute. Apparently, you knocked on that door and went in there. The prison door opened and you volunteered to go to prison. So stop acting as though I sent you to prison. I'm going to help you come home, but let's work together. And we're going to do this step by step by step. Who's done over 10 years, probably done over 10 years in prison? It's hard, isn't it? You come home soon?
He did the same thing you did.
Like I said,
Robbery.
all those I said that had life sentences, they have to find a favor with the warden. Daryl can do what he can to help him get out, but parole board referral automatically gets you out the door. That's a ticket out of there. But you got to do something to make you stand out. Because he's putting his job on the line to say, this guy, I feel like he deserves to be free. That's what the letter says. This guy, I feel like he deserves to be free. So he needs to maneuver him around to a place where he finds a warden that he can feel like he can do this kind of work to get that kind of favor. Those who got mandatory times and sentence reduction, that's what my man do. So like I said before, $100 is not a lot of money. And his services don't cost a lot of money. But what you have to do, continue to do, is love him, but put down some things. Before I send you a green dot, I'm going to send you a book. And I want you to read this book, and when I come to visitation, we're going to discuss this book. I'm not going to sit here and watch you eat for an hour and then go home. I'm going to send you a book, and you should study this book, and when I come back, we're going to discuss this book. And that way, this builds up his education. So that when he comes home, he's prepared to do the work for the family, not against the family. There's no, you pay $5,000 to $6,000 to get this loved one home and end up paying $10,000 to $20,000 to take care of him while you're at home. You can't do that. It's not hard to get a job. Yes, ma'am.
So your mother did all these things, and so when you did come home, you was prepared for it.
Yes, ma'am. My mom told me visitation. I was in Alto, 1988, when Alto was killing people. And I cried like a baby. And then she told me, stop crying. I'm not going to come to this prison anymore because I'm crying. I need to get home. Get me out of here. It's terrible here. I'm not going to come here anymore until you decide to change. And she got up and she walked out. And I called and I wrote her letters, and she felt like when my letters got sincere, then she started going to work for me. She called the water, she done work, but I had some years to do. I mean, I had to go to get my GED, I had to go to college, I had to get trades. And she said, which is true, if you're doing over 5 to 6 years, you need more than one trade. Because when you come home, that trade may not be hiring. So you need to know how to do more things than just one thing. That's all you know how to do. You become a burden on your family like that. This relationship that you establish with your loved one, with the parole board people, as well as inside the prison, is very important. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
How do you get them to get transferred to another location that gives more trade? Like they may be somewhere they don't have very many trades.
True.
How can you get them transferred to another prison?
It's two parts. One part, my man Daryl, he know how to call certain people you know to get you transferred. One of the ways my mom did on your part is she called. She talked to the water care and treatment. She explained that I want him to get an education. It's not given that. First thing is he doesn't have any DRs. 6 months free, he can get transferred. Don't let him tell, oh, he got to be there in a year. No, it's 6 months.
6 months, okay.
It's 6 months inside the institution without a DR you can get transferred. They just say a year. They just throw you off a little bit, but it's really 6 months. Once I got you next. And when you call, how you talk to them dictates will you get help or not. If you call them talking about, look, my son, I don't know what y'all doing, but he needs to get a trade. They're going to say, okay, we're going to look into that, man. You're going to say, I called out. But you call with concern, speaking with intelligence, speaking that you know the facts, you know what your son is doing in there. If you know he's gotten in trouble, you say that. I know he's been in a couple of trouble before. He's done some wrong things, but for the last 5 or 6 months, he's been staying out of trouble. And I was wanting to get him somewhere he can get a trade. You have to speak with knowledge of what he's doing. You talking about getting him moved, but he just got caught with a cell phone last week. And that's what they're going to say. Throw that in your face and hang your phone up on him. Yes, ma'am.
I'm in a situation where my husband has done his classes. He was sentenced to life, but he was sentenced when life was 14 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And I've been told that he's going to automatically be denied.
Credit for time served. This is one of the things that's very powerful right here, because I'd say at least 80% of the inmates in the state of Georgia, they're working on it recently, have not received full credit for the time they served in county jail. So you need to ask them, hey, and all that time you have, you marking on the bottom of your bunk or writing doodles or every day you've been in prison, calculate your sentence and add on the amount of time you served in county jail, because unless the judge specifically stated that they were not to receive credit for time served in county jail, they're supposed to receive credit for time served in county jail. That information right there, we give that, if we do that service for $500. Just gave it to you. So they should take the time to audit their case. Those who serve in life sentences, as Mr. Woodard addressed earlier, that they are eligible for parole. Here's one of the things that's a trick that's going on with the parole board. The parole board has consistently retroactively applied new rules and policies to old cases. In other words, when they implement a new rule or policy, it is not supposed to apply to your loved one. About 4 years ago, they implemented a new rule saying now a person with a life sentence for murder is supposed to serve 35 years before they even think about that person. Well, that person may have came in under a system where they're supposed to only serve before 1992, that they were only supposed to serve 7 years, and then after 92, 93 on, it's supposed to be 14 years, right? Well, you have to stay on the parole board and let it be known that you're not going to sit by idly with your hands folded or sitting on them, allowing your loved one to only be considered for parole after serving 35 years because they came in before these new laws and policies. Consistently for the past 30 years that I've been doing this, a number of new policies have come into effect, and they just retroactive, they just apply it. It's what's in front of them. And nothing against some of my beloved parole board members or some of those who work for them who are expediently provide them with dinner passes to Red Lobsters and to concerts. They many times aren't equipped with the skill sets to understand the significance and importance of their job and the detail that is needed for them. So in other words, case file comes up, they look at the new policy, they look at the policy that's in front of them, they don't look at the year that the crime happened. Because sometimes, for example, a person may have been convicted in 96, but the crime happened in 91. So the laws and the rules and the policies in place in 91 has to be brought in mind that, hey, this is when this crime happened. And the laws and the rules and the policies at the time when this crime happened, which should be controlling with you right now. So can I please have a copy of the rules that were current at the time of my loved one? You can, we have the website for, it's called Webmaster. The email is in your handbook to how you communicate with the parole board and solicit a copy of the rules for the parole board during the time in which your loved one was incarcerated. If there's anything else that needs to be asked, Tuesday, most of us will be out the office Monday because we'll be at the Georgia Tech seminar with Randall Pickett. It's an all-day business seminar. Highly recommend that you go there. We try to go there so that we can equip our clients. What we just went over is just pretty much a scratch of the surface of the information that is available. I'm sure you'll be able to acquire some more information from reading the book thoroughly. In addition, if you can't navigate the book, you can call us, you can hire us, and we'll deduct $100 out of the fees, right? I would recommend that if you do decide to hire us before September 1st because our prices are going up September 1st. They haven't gone up in 10 years. Someone said here they had contacted one of the lawyers I mentioned. Who was that? How much did a lawyer charge you, man? $10,000 to start. $10,000 to start. And according to what we just told you, some of the information he gave you wasn't accurate, was it? You know, right? And so you can see what we're saying pretty much is right. Now, we've gotten guys out that a lot of lawyers said can't nothing be done. They get your money and they're on their way. Right? Me, I'll be held to the fence, you know, when that happened in terms of that's what happened. But we keep our record clean. Again, you can go to the Better Business Bureau and see we have an A+ rating because we try to make things right. You know, we try to make things right. Thank you again for coming out. We enjoyed you. Looking forward to helping you again in the future. God bless you. Drive safe.